Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Flights. I am Lazerbolt, your host for tonight, and we're going to have a good time tonight. We're flying around, taking off out of Stockholm, Sweden. Should be fun as we head north to Finland. We are flying kind of a new airplane for us. A lot of us are in this 404 Titan. This is kind of a brand new airplane for our group flights here. It was recommended by Wingnut, and I agree. It's a nice airplane. I'm glad to be flying it. So that should be a good time. We have lots of pilots with us tonight. I'm glad that we have so many people joining us. And yeah, sit back, relax, grab yourself a drink and a snack, and we'll have a fun little flight on this Friday evening. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good go.
All good here.
Good to hear.
Doing great.
Doing good.
That is nice to hear. Yeah, we got a nice full little group tonight. That's fantastic. We're going to be taking off in about 4 minutes, maybe more like 3. And we won't need to go too high tonight. About 5,000 feet should do it. And maybe 180 knots. So let's maintain 180 at 5,000.
Okay. Is that Pacifier joining us?
Hey, Pacifier, good to see you, buddy. It's been a few weeks. Greetings. And I see Control Freak snuck in, too. So, yeah. Hey, guys, how you doing? Just so you know, we're streaming, so I like to warn people of that. But, yeah, happy Friday, guys.
Hey guys, Pacifier here. I'm still setting up, that's why I didn't answer, but I'll be with you in just a minute.
Ah, good deal. It's good to hear your voice, buddy. Yeah, we're sitting down here on runway 26 at the moment, and like I said, about 3 minutes we're going to climb out of here.
Copy that.
I'm still getting used to this 404 Titan. I really kind of like it. I mean, look at the inside here. The cockpit has a very nice mixture of old school with all the steam gauges, but you also have GPS and all that kind of stuff. You got some modern electronics in here. So it's a nice combination of everything I like. This is going to be fun. As the flight goes on, if I have any questions, I might have to ask Bob. Bob spent quite a bit of time in this, and he knows a lot better than I do.
Well, the only thing on the setting the altitude is you just have to climb to that altitude and then select your heading hold.
Oh, it doesn't do... It's like the C-130 then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because it let me, in my home cockpit, it actually let me enter 5,000 feet. I'll be interested to see if it takes me up to there. Yeah, yeah.
Well, good.
The Hercules, it won't even let you do that. So it's...
No.
We'll see. It does, the cockpit does have some similarities to that C-130, though. That big console with all the knobs on it there, that looks just like the autopilot on C-130. See, we got Midlife Rex over there. Like I said, he looks like he might be in a C-130J. I'm not 100% sure. It's not really saying. But there's always some weird model matching going on with that C-130J. See, it kind of looks like a black bus. But it should be fun.
Yeah, unless you're right beside him.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be a good time having him with us. I'm just glad he decided to join us. In less than a minute, we're going to be taking off out of here, so... get everything all figured out. Matu, I'm assuming you are in a your favorite airplane, right? Oh, no, that's Control Freak. Control Freak is in that Grand Caravan he likes so much. What are you in, Matu?
TBM 930 today.
Oh, you are? That's weird. It shows you as a Grand Caravan for me. That's weird. That's
usually what I'm in.
Oh, it is? Okay, well, good.
I'm in the Cessna 414, so the pressurized version of what you're flying.
Oh, okay, right on. It's showing also as a Grand Caravan.
Yeah, I think, didn't we discuss that last time? Isn't it that bug that whatever the first livery you don't have, it replaces after that everything just with with the same airplane?
Yep, that's a bug.
Yeah. Well, at least it doesn't keep showing us as the same, like a jumbo jet, no matter what you're in. You know what I mean? Anyway, gentlemen, it is 10 after the hour, so let's go ahead and get these birds up in the air. I see where we're just buzzed by pacifier, so he managed to get up too. And yeah, we are going to take off out of here and take a slight right-hand turn. Like I said, climb to 5,000 at 180. Lazerbolt is rolling.
Copy that. Rolling.
Yeah, I'm real impressed with the speeds this 404 gives you. I wasn't expecting it to go almost 200 knots, but that's pretty good. Some kind of a warning going on here. I don't know what I did. Tried putting my gear up and it's really complaining about that. Oh, I'm getting that weird bad frame rate thingy going on again.
To make sure wake turbulence didn't turn itself back on.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have it on or off, to be honest.
Make sure it's off, because in multiplayer it causes single frame stutter crap.
Oh, okay, that might be it.
It's under assistances.
Yeah, once we get up established in the air, I'm definitely going to do that. Yeah, it's a slideshow. And it happened as soon as we got in the air, it started doing that.
I bet you got wake turbulence on.
Well, y'all might see me pause for just a second as I take care of this.
Okay.
Wow, buddy, that was exactly what it was. Everything's good now that I turned it off. That's new for me. I don't think we've discussed that before. I didn't know that was a thing. That's good to know. Thank you.
I've heard that one
You're
several
welcome.
times. As soon as he said it, I thought he was probably right. I always make sure it's off.
Right? Well, I figured he was right, but yeah, it's the first time I heard that. It worked like a charm, I tell you what. I could have used that 2 weeks ago and everything was really bad.
So what setting was that?
Go under
Wake
assistances. Yeah, under assistances, and it's wake turbulence. There's turbulence, and then underneath it is wake turbulence.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, let's try turning that off. I mean, I'm not getting bad frame rates, but if it improves it, even better. Oh, shoot.
Famous last pilot words.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I didn't realize I had my finger resting over the escape button. After I came back out into the flight, I accidentally pushed down on it and I went right back into the menu again. I was like, I didn't want to do that. But it is definitely seemed to smooth things out a little bit. Is that only affecting it during multiplayer, or is it affected at all times?
Yeah. Well, it seems to be worse with multiplayer, because then you have so many calculations and it's clearly buggy. If you're just flying around by yourself and there's a couple of people 10 miles away from you, you're probably not going to see any difference.
And I'm happy to report that it did level me out right at 5,000. So good deal. I wasn't sure it would do that.
I had no way to set the 5,000 other than in the EFB, so I had to
Right.
manually change it.
Yeah, I didn't even look around the cockpit to see what all the functions are. Like I said, I've got my home cockpit, and usually I can do it right there. It's good and bad. It's good because I always know where everything is, but it's bad because I never know where everything is in the actual airplane because I've never even looked for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I looked all over trying to see if there was a way to set the altitude in here, and I can't find any place.
Yeah, there's not. It's on those little black square buttons. Once you
Yep.
get 5,000, you can select the heading hold or the altitude hold.
Yeah, that's how I did it. But I was able to set 5,000 in the EFB, but that didn't transfer over to anything, and there was no way for me to do like FLC or IAS to track the altitude and stop when I got there.
Well, let's see here. It is recommending for us to go in on runway 16 when we get to Siljan, which is Echo Sierra Kilo Mike. When we get there, yeah, we'll count on runway 16. We have 5,900 feet of asphalt, only a 639 foot of elevation. That's not too bad. And we also have ILS, so that's always fun. I doubt I'm going to do the ILS. I'm not even sure how to do it on this airplane, especially how to input the frequencies. But the frequency is, if you're interested, 109.7. 109.7 for runway 16. And that is at a heading of 155 degrees magnetic. Let's count on that. 16. Actually, the other runway is quite a bit more straight in. I only picked 16 because I had an ILS, but I'm not sure if that matters tonight. I don't know how many of us are even going to use it.
I'll try it.
Alrighty, we'll just stay runway 16. We're going to have to do probably a left-hand circuit around the airport to get lined up with 16. We'll do that when we get there, because right on the shore is a big lake. I need to get used to how fast this thing goes. I'm going way too fast. I gotta slow down to 180. Yeah, happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully your week was well, and you had at least a little bit of fun sometime this week. I know I did. I just got back from camping yesterday. I went kind of to a local place, but it was fun.
Is that where you did your brisket?
That is where I did the brisket. I was planning on going to I told you guys this place, Henry's Landing, that I like to go to because they got like kayak rentals, and not only would they rent you a kayak, but they'll take you up the river and drop you off. I've got my own kayak, but it just makes it so much easier using theirs, and it's cheap. But anyway, they're booked right up till the end of the year, or to the end of the month, that is. I was a little surprised to hear that they'd be booked up here in September, but they're fully booked. So I had to go like down the list. I checked a couple other places, and I finally found a little place called Buttersville, which was actually not too far from home. It's only maybe about a 10-minute drive, so didn't really even have to get out of the neighborhood. It's right here on Lake Michigan, so it's a nice place. It's not new to me in the sense that this place has been here forever, and I grew up in this area. So when we were kids, we all used to party at Buttersville. That was just the place we all hung out and partied. You know, if we always knew somebody who was camping, so we would just go hang out with them and have a big party all the time. And they don't do that anymore, and people don't party like they used to. But I've been here many times, or been there to Buttersville. A lot of times I've just never actually camped. And it was nice camping there. It's a nice little place, like I said, right on Lake Michigan, and it's beautiful. So anyway, I did find myself that big old 9-pound brisket, and yeah, cooked it up. So I'm in the works of putting together the video of how to cook a big 9-pound brisket. I made a short about it, real quick like, But the main video is on the way, and yes, it turned out great.
Aloha.
Yeah, we got a lot of people here in Discord tonight. It's nice to see everybody. Travis, that was the voice I heard. Aloha, how you doing, bud?
Good. Happy Friday. How are you?
Yeah, happy Friday to you. So what's new with you? Are you able to join us in the air tonight, or you on the other side of the world?
I'm right behind you. Hey, Coast.
Oh. And Coast hops in.
Travis, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Sort of.
It's good to see you, Coast. Happy Friday, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see Travis in the air, but he's up here somewhere.
He's back there. He's back there.
Yeah, I see him. He's back there a little ways, but I see him.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Listen, the name tags get real small when people are far away.
Listen, I'm not trying to compensate for anything, okay? I'm not like that.
Small name tag, big heart.
Exactly.
So what's going on with you, buddy? Didn't you just get back from some kind of vacation?
I did come back from Austria, yes.
Yeah, Austria. Cool. Hopefully that was a good time.
Yeah, spent some time in Germany and down the Rhine.
Sehr gut.
Yeah, very.
Sehr schön.
Hashtag I need to start working on my German.
Danke.
Sie haben also kein Deutsch gelernt, als Sie da waren.
Sprechen Sie langsamer, bitte.
Was für ein Verlust.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people who know rudimentary German around here. That is great. And a few people who know it straight up. I see in the chat we have a couple people checking in. We got a Kubi, Montana waving at us. And page turners they were not. Hello there, he says. Well, hello there, Brennan. It's always fun to see you, man. Happy Friday. Hopefully you're having a good night. It's starting out pretty good around here. Got a beautiful early morning flight out of Stockholm, and we're heading to Finland. Yeah, I tell you what, 9 pounds is a lot of brisket. I've been eating brisket for 4 days now, and it's a lot of brisket.
I was just gonna say you ate that on the first day on the weekend.
Cut it up to put it in the freezer.
Well, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to make a big pot of chili tomorrow and use up all the rest of it. Yeah, whatever I haven't used yet, I'm just going to make a big pot of chili out of it. It's going to be good. I'm not sick of it yet. I'm using it in different stuff. I've had like, I've made tortillas with it, tacos basically. I've just eaten it on the side like normal. This morning, instead of steak and eggs, I had steak and brisket. It was delicious.
Fried brisket, brisket soup, brisket biscuits.
Exactly.
Feel free to fly that on down to Tennessee if it's got too much for you.
Did you ship some down there to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that 9-pound brisket was the small one. They had 2 of them that were like 15 pounds, man. That was like, nope, can't do it. But that big 9-pounder.
How long did it take you to cook that?
It took a long time, a long time. It was like I did it in a charcoal grill, and it took about 12 hours, and then I let it rest overnight. So 12 hours plus 8, it took a long time.
Hey, I got an idea for you, video-wise. So you have a video while you're cooking it. You should make a video. I bought a 15-pound brisket. Here's how I cooked it, and now I'm going to find out how long can I eat it before I get completely sick of it. It's like the daily diary, and you're like, here we go. Here I'm, day 12.
Day 12, still going. Just see how many different things I can make out of it.
Yeah. And you have to eat it on camera so we all know you're really eating it.
Eat the whole thing. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Michigan man eats 15-pound brisket
And still likes it.
and still likes it.
I have some network issues for some reason, like for like 5 seconds there were random parts, so I missed. Did you say that you smoked it on a grill, or
I did.
how you cook it?
I smoked it on a charcoal grill, and so yeah,
Nice.
I mean, it's all charcoal smoke, but I like the taste of charcoal. It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I did the snake method. Don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but you don't, since to cook something like a brisket, you don't want direct heat. You want indirect heat, so it's not just like the source right underneath the brisket making it all crispy. You just want it to cook. So what you do is you take your brisket, or your charcoal briquettes, and you kind of put them around the outside of the charcoal grill. You know, so not on the outside of the grill, but on the inside of the grill, you just kind of make a circular pattern with the charcoal, and then you light one end of it, and that snake will burn. It burned all night. It burned all day, burned all night, and the next day there was still some charcoal left. So that's a good way to do it.
Wow.
I didn't even have to keep. I didn't have to keep stocking it. I just, like I said, I made like a snake-shaped ring on the inside of the bowl there, and then I lit one end of it, and it just slowly kept burning all day long.
I was going to ask you if you were watching it for 20 hours there, but that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it worked really good. Just keep it closed, and yeah, everything smoked really good. It was a good idea.
I was worried you meant that you actually smoked a snake next to it for taste.
Yeah, this is how you get extra flavor.
This is where it says it tastes like chicken, you know?
I have heard that snake tastes like chicken, but everything does apparently.
Yeah, rattlesnake does.
Yeah, back in Boy Scouts, they tried to get us to eat rattlesnake, and I was like, nope, no thank you. And it was smoked rattlesnake even, but I was, nope, no thanks.
Mine wasn't smoked. It was just like a piece that would fit on like a teaspoon.
Right. That's like, I'm not a
tastes
picky
like-
eater. I am really not a picky eater, but I don't need to go that far down the food chain, man.
Nah.
Alligator's pretty similar to chicken. It's just really a lot chewier than chicken is.
Yeah, I've heard it's almost a little fishy too, alligator.
I haven't experienced that in my few times having it, but
You probably just go out in your backyard and grab one.
yeah, I'm fenced in on my backyard, thankfully. I don't have to worry about too many surprises. But yeah, pretty much.
That's one bit of wildlife I'm pretty sure I'll never see around here.
Oh, an alligator? Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Although I did have to dodge about 15 turkeys standing in the middle of the road that wouldn't even move when I honked the horn at them.
See, I told you. Remember last week we were talking about how turkeys like to have sex in the road?
Well, these ones weren't having sex. They were just kind of like hanging out. They were just looking at
Yeah.
me. It's like,
Well,
really? You want us
whatever
to
it is.
move?
They like
I
hanging out in the
think you-
road.
I think you just call that dinner at that point. Pick one up and then you have to go to the store.
So every time I see this 404 Titan written down, like I'm looking at Wingnut there, 404 Titan, it just looks like an error code.
Page not
Looks
found.
like a browser error.
Page not found yet.
My last flat had the flat number 404. And
Nice.
everybody who came visit me, which were also IT people, nerds, so to speak, they all had a laugh.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of them thought that you're playing a joke on them and never came.
I should have done that. I thought about it, but then, yeah.
404 error drive.
pretty flat around here, and there's a lot of water.
Yeah, a lot of little lakes.
Somebody left the water running.
Yeah, it looks like Wisconsin around here. There's a lot of Scandinavian people in Wisconsin anyway, or Minnesota. What kind of weather they're getting around here right now? Is it starting to get cold yet, or we're not that far north?
Yes.
82 here yesterday.
82, holy moly. I don't know if we got that warm, but it's been nice and warm. Yeah, this has been the best part of the summer so far right here.
And also 31-21.
Oh, that's your Buffalo Bills beating Miami score, huh?
That's the fish. That's the squishy. That's the squishy nose.
The squishy.
Yeah, we were only 80 today. It's nice here finally.
Yeah, 80's pretty good for you guys.
Yep, got all the windows open. It's down to like 75 now.
How about you, Bob? You cooling off down there yet in Tennessee?
Well, I'm down to 76, but we hit 90 today.
Oh boy.
What we do here is that it gets down to the 50s or low 60s at night. So we leave the windows open and put the blankets on, and the house freezes. And then in the daytime, when it gets hot, we just close the windows and it stays cold.
And what I do here, I just we cool. I think it was 61 this morning when I got up, and I just leave the house fan run all night and crack the windows. And when I get up in the morning, shut all the windows, and I got home today. It was still only 75 in the house.
Yeah, real nice.
Good. Save electric. There you go.
Yeah, I'm good to about 90. If it gets over 90, then the air will cycle on and off. But otherwise, I can cool it down enough that the air doesn't need to run.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that too. I don't usually use air conditioning. I mean, it gets hot enough around here to need air conditioning occasionally, but not too often. As long as I got a little window fan, I'm good to go. Get a little air blow on, and that's all I need.
Yeah, well, that's what the guy told us when we bought our house in Toledo, because we were right down the road from Lake Erie. He goes, "Oh, it stays cool enough here because the house didn't have air conditioning on it. Oh, it stays cool here. You won't need air." No, we moved in like May of that year, and it was already like 85 degrees upstairs. It's like,
May.
yeah, no, we need air conditioning. So we put air conditioning on, and then we didn't get it. Then we were like high in the 50s for like the next month after we put the air on.
It made you wonder if you really needed it or not.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
we did.
on the occasions that you do need it, it's nice having.
Oh, we definitely needed it because upstairs just got ungodly hot. I mean, it was, I ended up just shutting like all the vents off downstairs and then just open them upstairs. And I mean, Toledo still hit 100, 105. So
Yeah,
That's
that's
too hot to
way
sleep.
too much.
Never hit 100 here, ever.
oh. Yeah, I think about 105 is probably the hottest I've seen in Toledo.
I don't think it ever hits 100 here in Florida, at least not near the coast.
It feels like 105 with all the humidity.
Oh yeah. Yes. And today it hit only 87, which is not bad, especially not for this time of year.
You're on the east side, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the
kinda
things I love about Flight Simulator and just the internet in general. Here we are, literally people from all over the world, hanging out, shooting the shit, just like we're in the same room together. You know what I'm saying? This is great. I love it.
Oh yeah. Of course, what you don't know is that we are all AI. Actually, you're the only human here.
Yes, I've been tinkering around with AI. Just last night, I decided to try something, and it might be a video one of these days soon. I don't know if you guys have noticed. There's a new thing on YouTube videos now. If you look in the bottom of a YouTube video, one of the buttons that there is, it says something like I don't know, it's got a weird little AI symbol. I forget what they call it, like questions or something like that. And you hover over it and it tells you, it's like if you hit this button, it will give you a summary of the video. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. Maybe I could make a video about this and see, you know, run my own videos through that to see if it gives an accurate description of what the video is. And yes and no. It does kinda, but not always, and sometimes it's kind of funny, but it also was way more accurate than I expected it to be. It was surprisingly very good. I ran one of my Star Wars videos through there, and my Star Wars videos are nonsense, absolute nonsense. There's like 8 characters, and it's just random silliness going on. You know, I mean, I dress up in costumes and I do stuff, and it's just nothing serious going on. It's really not even an easy story to follow because it's just, you know, it's just silliness happening. And the AI did a pretty good job of summarizing it. You know, these guys are late for a party, so they need to go to the store, and the one guy needs to get some blue spotchka, but they were out. And it's like, well, okay, it deciphered what was going on quite well. I was surprised.
Does it do it in real time, or does it like do it like instantaneous?
It does. You don't even have to be watching the video. It's just like, you know, instead of pushing play on the video, you could just press the summarize this video for me, and then it brings up a big menu. Brings up a whole bunch of randomly generated questions, you know, like, why did they go to the store? And you click on that and it says, well, they went to the store because the one guy wanted beer but the other guy wanted frogs, and so they went to the store that sold both beer and frogs. And I'm like, I'm surprised it picked up on that. You know, that was almost kind of subtle humor, that it was just kind of mentioned in passing, but it put 2 and 2 together and actually came up with the right answer. I was surprised.
Sounds like it's going to put a lot of YouTube influencers out of business.
Well, they're doing it to help YouTubers, you know. I mean, the point of it is that, like, you watch somebody's video and you still have questions. You know, it's
okay.
You know, it's like, well,
I thought it was like,
why is, you know, the guy said Mars is like the second best place to go. Why is Mars the second place? And then you click on it and it summarizes what the guy said. It's like, oh, the guy said that Mars is the second best place because Venus would be better or something, you know. And it's just kind of helping people understand what's going on in your video. Yeah, I was a little surprised. It did get a couple things wrong. Sorry?
Yeah, I thought you meant it was like the cliff notes of YouTube videos, so it saves you from watching the videos. It just summarizes it for you.
No, it's like right there at the bottom of each video. It's like it has the subscribe button and the like button, and then right next to that is this AI summary of the video.
I'm gonna have to look for that. Play around.
You
with
know
it.
how you get to the Inception level? Is when you go to Lazerbolt's video about AI summaries, then you click on the AI summary button for his video.
That's awesome. Yeah, the AI summary of the AI summary video. It did say some funny things though, just like stuff that it was after it got so much of it right. How could it get this wrong? You know, like in the video, it's 2 completely different things. Where one of the characters goes to a liquor store. It's like a space-age liquor store out in outer space, and there's a robot that's like the guy in charge of it. And he kind of gets into a discussion with the robot about, you know, what to buy, and the robot's trying to sell him this galactic savings program thing, trying to get him to sign up, and Lazerbolt doesn't want to. And then the very next scene, it has like a wipe cut, and it goes to Mando and Grogu in a completely different place, completely different planet, and they're hiding from a monster. They went to this planet to get some frogs, and this giant frog is not having it. So they're kind of running away from this monster. Well, anyway, the AI summary said, Lazerbolt goes to the liquor store to get some liquor, and the robot tries to sell him like a Spotchka Galactic Savings Program, and Lazerbolt doesn't want it. And then the robot owner chases Lazerbolt through the jungle, and it's like, no, that's not what happened. You know, it's Mando that's getting chased through the jungle by a giant frog. You know, so I don't know. It got some stuff right, and it got some stuff hilariously wrong.
Yeah, now imagine this was an AI summary about something that you really need, like
something
some
important
video about how to repair something. You didn't want to watch the whole thing, so you figured I'll just read the summary. Well, you're gonna mess the repair up because the AI is stupid, you know.
Exactly. that's why it still gives me hope that it's like we're pretty far away from actual intelligent machines. You know, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while still. It's amazing what they're doing, and sometimes it's even funny and entertaining. But true intelligence, I don't think we're even close to it. Not even close. But it does concern me that this would be a good way to spread like false information. You know, and there's you know. And the thing that concerns me the worst is I'm not worried about AI. I'm worried about ruthless people using AI. You know, shady people trying to use AI to fool us to make money. And, you know, money is a big motivator. So there's going to be a lot of that going on. Your people are going to have to be on their toes to know what's real and what's not real, because other people are going to try to fool you. And that's not AI that's the problem. That's people that are the problem. You know, if there's money to be made.
Tell now, even without AI, people are seemingly incapable to critically think about anything that they see or read.
Yes, very true. And people are going to use AI to try to get your money. Just be aware of that.
No, people never try to extort.
Are you kidding me? They tried that?
Never.
No. Money motivating shady people to do shady things? Never.
But hey, Laser, you got a coupon for the Galactical program? I'm interested.
Yep. You'll get 2 for 1 off of Twinkleberry's Spotchka Surprise.
Nice.
I've heard about those twinkleberries. I don't know if I want to be around them.
Well, it's the Spotchka you got to worry about. That stuff is stronger than it looks.
But hey, I got one for you, AI-wise. I ended up messing around with music AI, you know, Suno AI, that kind of stuff.
That's exactly what I did too.
Oh, you did too? So,
just last night for the first time.
I mean, if you just you just tell it, give me this kind of music and make up lyrics about Lazerbolt is flying through the sky, you get this really absolute, you know, canned, middle of the road, like the most common form of music for that genre. So, you know, it's pretty lame. But I had old recordings from the early 90s where I had a little band with 2 friends. We didn't like play publicly, but we would sit with our equipment and try to write songs and produce them and stuff like that. And of course, the results were not very great, like 91, you know, technology was not that great. But I had these old recordings that we did back then with like a normal cassette, but 8-track that, you know, used the normal cassette. So it's not great. And I uploaded it to Suno. And holy crap, that's when it gets interesting, because it really tries to follow what you did there. It analyzes your chord progressions, roughly what instrumentation you're using. It even analyzes your singer and then tries to find a voice that matches, you know, alto to alto, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that is impressive.
I was really amazed. It was really amazing. There was a song that had 3 parts that were disconnected. And we were just not professional enough to figure out how to do this. And so we just gave up. I threw it in there, and this thing found a way to bind these 3 disjointed parts together in a way that musically made sense. That blew me away.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's funny. You just mentioned that one. I think it's called Sumo or something like that.
Yeah, Suno AI. Yeah, Suno, I like that one.
I just tried that yesterday. Just monkeying around, just out of the blue. I was kind of on an AI kick after checking out that YouTube AI thing. And so I thought, well, this music thing, look at that. It looks like fun. So I went to the Suno and just typed in some goofy song lyrics. You know, I thought, well, you know, what if I made the intro to my videos? You know, I'm getting ready to make this video about cooking a brisket. So I just typed in some silly stuff like, you know, it's the woods are super neat, so let's cook some forest meat. And, you know, I like to cook brisket, ribs, and chicken, and you don't even need a kitchen. You know, just making up stupid lyrics like that. And then ran it through there, and it generated 10 awesome songs with those dumbass lyrics I made. You know, it's like, okay, give me a country song, give me a rock song, and give me like an industrial heavy metal song. And they were all great. They were all like you said, a little bit on the canned obvious side, but it was also great. It was funny, you know, it was everything I hoped it would be. And so my next video might have AI music intro to it, you know.
Yeah.
And I also thought it would be so easy, you could run your entire script through that. And then as the video goes on, there's a song in the background talking about what you're talking about. You know, I mean, that's funny.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah. Very
So now we
impressive.
wanna
Very
hear-
impressive.
Now we want to hear a teaser of that song.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Well, I'm going to have the Forest Meat song on the next video. And it's impressive too, where you got it. They take just your written word and they break it down into chunks where it fits logically into a song and it flows perfectly.
Right.
They've got background singers. You know, there's this woman in the background singing "Forest Meats, Forest Meats." It's great.
Yeah, it's soon going to be the end of anybody who writes jingles or anything like that. I mean, they're basically a year away from you can't tell anymore in a jingle
Right.
if it's AI or not. And those people are going to be out of a job.
Yep. Well, you know, there's a lot of talk like that AI is putting people out of work, and I don't know. I think AI is allowing more people to be creative, not less people to. You know, it's like when power tools were first introduced. You know, everybody was like, well, that's the end of carpenters. Now anybody can just buy power tools and they can make their own porch. You don't need to hire a carpenter anymore. Everybody can just do it on their own. Well, what happened is all the good carpenters learned how to use power tools in a hurry. You know what I mean? And now that's part of their bag. You know what I mean? So if songwriters don't want to go out of business, they should probably check out AI and at least figure out how to use it to their advantage. It's another tool, just like a thesaurus. It's a tool in your bag of tricks.
The problem is I don't know how long it takes a pro that does jingles to write a jingle, right? I have no idea, honestly. But how do I explain to my customer that I'm still charging what I always charge for the jingle, even though I now make it in probably a 10th or a 20th of the time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they could do
now
it
that
too.
means my prices go down. That means now I have to make more of them. And I don't know if the market can bear that. It's not like construction. You know what I mean? There's only so much market for jingles, you know?
Better quality
Yeah.
than the competition.
Well, in a jingle, you don't really worry about quality all that much, unless you want to get a hook, you know?
Yeah, but the jingle is there to get a hook. So as you said, Lazerbolt said before, it gives you that mediocre run of the mill. If you want to have a good jingle, you still need someone who either knows the tool very well, different craft than up till now, but still someone who knows the AI tool very well, or someone who knows how to make a good jingle, not just a mediocre one.
Yeah, preferably a little bit of both. Well, we are awful close to this airport, guys. I'm going to go ahead and drop her down to 3,000 feet, and we're jogging off to the right here considerably, so we can do a left-hand circuit when we get up here. We are coming in. Let's see, we are coming in on runway 16, so count on that. We're taking a left-hand circuit. We're going to come in on runway 16.
I'm waiting for the AI group flight leader.
Oh no! Although it probably wouldn't be it wouldn't be impossible to make an AI flight plan. I bet you I could find like ChatGPT and ask it, you know, give me a flight plan going from Sweden to Finland that takes about 2 hours in this airplane, and we stop twice. It could probably come up with something pretty easy, you know.
Not just probably, it can do that. Full stop.
That's the kind of
No
stuff it's really
problem.
good at.
I sometimes did that when I didn't know where to fly, just to get an idea. Hey, I want to fly that long, this area. Give me a flight plan.
Yeah, and show me some interesting stuff, you know, and it'll take you there.
Yeah, the same goes for, I'm flying often with Say Intentions AI. There you can have like these tours that are, someone does them and tells where to go, but the AI will fill in the gaps and do the tour guide and everything.
Tells you all about the area you're in, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
There's a group that I fly with, and they are usually themed. You know, we're going in that area, we're going to fly from there to there, and we're going to talk about the POIs and stuff that's interesting. And the leaders that do that, they started to use AI. Instead of Wikipedia their way through everything, they basically just ask the AI to tell them everything interesting on that route.
Yeah.
And then while we're flying, they're just reading it off, basically, you know?
Yeah, that's a good summary, real nice and quick. You know, on a related
Another
note
AI
of
summary.
how AI, like we're talking, you got to be on your toes and at least somewhat be able to spot it. And it's getting better all the time, especially things like AI music. There was a guy that I was listening to on a podcast, and he said that he was talking about AI music and how it's so easy to make AI music. And he said something like he was just kind of tinkering around with it, and he like typed some stuff in, and he came up with an AI song, and he was super impressed and almost worried, you know, that it's like, oh my God, this is just too good. This is so good and so easy. I'm worried about it. It's awesome. You can't even tell that it's an AI song. And he said his 7-year-old daughter walked by, and she spotted it immediately. She was like, Dad, what are you doing listening to AI music, silly? You know, and it's like she spotted it immediately. The younger people are already getting accustomed to how to spot AI. That's just part of their culture. They've had it ever since day one. You know, so like his 7-year daughter could tell instantly that it was AI music, and he said he couldn't even tell. He was impressed with how good it sounded, but his daughter just like immediately said, Dad, what are you doing? So I thought that was really interesting.
If you keep messing with Suno, you're gonna figure that out too, because it's starting for me. I've maybe spent, I don't know, 6-7 hours on it over a while of time, but I'm starting to pick up on how in certain genre situations it does certain things. They're not so obvious, but when you listen to them, your brain picks up on it, and then you go, oh, okay. And if somebody plays something like that, your brain will tell you immediately that's a Suno song.
Right.
And that's just because you pick up on the underlying patterns that it uses.
Well, it gives me hope. Gives me hope for the future that people aren't just going to have the wool pulled over their eyes that easy. That the young kids are already onto it. They're wise to it already, and they know the signs and they know what to look for. You know, they're not just getting wholesale fooled. They know what to look for nowadays.
I don't know about the music stuff because I haven't dabbled in that, but like watching a YouTube video, almost instantly or within the first like 15 seconds of listening to one, I know that they use the AI script generation, and because they, like you said, they do the same things. They use the same types of words, and the words aren't very natural they're very kind of like somewhat high level, but they're not natural for most conversation.
Yeah. And once in a while it screws up a word. The AI voices, like they sound pretty good, just a little, you know, lifeless. But then once in a while they totally screw up a word, you know?
Yeah, and only
no human would do.
Yeah, in a way that only a robot would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty good at spotting like pictures that are obviously AI generated pictures, and it doesn't necessarily bother me. I mean, some people are really triggered about that, but it doesn't bother me. I can tell. It's like, oh, that guy used ChatGPT to make his thumbnail. Whoop-de-doo, it doesn't bother me. And it's like anything else. If you get better at the tools, you'll have better results, you know.
I don't get bothered by that. I just don't like watching videos where people are using the AI voice and the AI script.
Right. Completely AI generated voice going on, and well, it's like sometimes I don't have, like if it's a science video, there seems to be a lot of science videos like that. I have trouble kind of trusting it, you know.
Yeah.
I've seen how AI screws things up and just gets it wrong, you know. And when it comes to science, you don't want it to be wrong. You want it to be, you know, as on point as you can.
Even if the person is wrong, if it's a real person, it would make me feel better.
Alrighty, well, I'm getting ready to make a turn final here for runway 16.
Hey, Matthew.
Yeah.
Your voice sounds very familiar. Is there possibly a reason for that, or?
He's been with us a number of times.
Before? Like way back, like 10 years ago or anything like that?
Sorry, say again. I just had an error message in cockpit.
Have you ever flown with us like 10 years ago-ish around that time, or am I just...
I don't know. I don't think so. 10 years. That would have been before MS 2020.
Yeah,
I used
okay.
to fly, but not online necessarily.
Alright,
Yeah, Travis,
'cause your voice sounds very familiar to somebody that I used to fly with a bit on
Right.
FSX.
His voice reminds me of a little bit of Casey Ryback and a little bit of Mike. Remember Mike? Actually, it
Mostly
was Mike 404, wasn't it?
Yeah. I just didn't want to be that blunt and just ask like that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's not. I don't know that name. That's not me.
And you
I
have
still-
like very similar verbiage as he did too. There's nothing bad about it, but it's just very familiar in my head.
I still see Casey Ryback occasionally on Discord. I haven't talked to him in a while, but yeah, I always liked him. He's a good guy.
Is he still on that train?
Not that Casey Ryback. Yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure what his real name is. It might be Andreas.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he's just more of a solid snake kind of name. Alrighty,
Yeah, I met
Lazerbolt
him,
is on like a 2-mile final for runway 16. When you get down, we'll just back taxi to the beginning of 16. We'll take off from there.
I met up with him at his house last year in Spain.
Yeah, Mike 404. He was that guy that lived on a houseboat, didn't he? Like in San
I think
Diego, he lived on a houseboat or something.
Yeah, I think it was a sailboat, but I am not too certain of all the details. But yeah, he did live in one of the harbors in the San Diego area.
Well, this will be my first landing in this 404. I think everything's going pretty good so far. I'm not sure what kind
Let's
of speeds I
watch
should
it.
try to hold.
Make it a good one.
If you can't hold your speeds, hold your breath.
And this airplane seems like it should be a turboprop, but it is not. Alrighty, no, that was good. I like that. I could have landed even shorter than I did. Yeah, definitely we got all the leaves changing around here. Everything's got fall colors. It looks nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, don't forget when I drove through there a couple years ago, or hasn't been 3. I hope. Yeah, driving around Michigan during fall was just stunning.
It is really nice to see such a big group with us tonight. That's fantastic. Thanks for showing up, guys. And if anyone would ever like to join us out there and watching the video on YouTube or whatever, it's real easy to do. Come join us. We would love to have you. You can get the game on Game Pass if you're looking for kind of a cheap way to do it. It's not for everybody, so that'd be a good way to test it and see if it's good for you. Grab it on Game Pass. And then in the description of the YouTube video, it will tell you where we're flying and what aircraft we're flying and what time we're doing it. So yeah, we would love to have you. Grab all that info and come join us one of these days. Bob, did you say you were going to try to do an ILS approach here? And if so, how's that going?
Well, it turned to me, but I don't think my glide slope's going to catch me.
I can't even catch the localizer. I don't know what to press to get the localizer. I'm just going in circles right now.
That's a nice touchdown, Matthew.
Thank you.
Now you can just get her stopped.
the VOR localizer button on the autopilot doesn't engage.
That would be for your ILS
there's
approach, or
a-
just a standard.
Yeah, for the ILS.
There's a, if you switch it over to V-lock on your GPS, and then there's on the left side of your dash up there, there's 3 little toggle switches. It's the one
Yep.
on the left. You flip that one up.
Okay, that's what I did. I've got it up.
Yeah, that's that nav GPS switch I was talking about last week. That most airplanes have it, and for some reason, it's not anywhere near the autopilot. It seems like it would be, but it's not. You usually have to look for it.
Wait, no, I'm right behind you, and we are high.
Yeah, I didn't catch the glide slope. It turned me, but I'm gonna have to do manual landing.
Dive, dive, dive.
Well, Matthew, I hate to point fingers, but what in the hell was that? Or not Matthew, but Pacifier. You just went right off into the woods, buddy. What's going on? Everything all right? Not trying to call you out. Bob coming in, looking real good. Right down the pipe. A beautiful landing, Bob.
Why, thank you, sir.
Travis coming in, that new airplane. Doesn't look like you got your gear down, but it's hard to tell.
Yep, you're down. You're in the C90, aren't you?
I knew I was gonna have to catch up a little bit. I was trying to pick something that could, have a little bit of extra oomph, but I think this is probably around the same because it tops out at like 195.
Yeah, that's about this. You can get 200 knots in this 404. I was surprised it goes that fast, but it does quite easily. Especially since it's not a turboprop. It kind of looks like one, but it ain't. You don't have reverse thrust or anything.
Yeah. My TBN 850 finally got an update, and now I can fly it in 2024. And I got the black square TBN 850, and that thing is really cool.
Oh, good deal.
It's
I've heard that's
a black
nice.
dude.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, Black Square did a good job on the cockpit version of that TBN.
I can't find anything wrong with this stock TBM 930.
There's another one I've never
No,
flown.
it's fine. Yeah.
The 930 is nice. The black square is if you want a little bit more old school, like analog
Yeah, it is.
style.
Steam, yeah.
Then you need steam gauge, then you need the 850.
So the pacifier looks like he's in a VTOL of some kind.
35B.
I see. It looks like a 404 floating around like a UFO.
Yeah, I got a 930.
There we got Longhorn coming in, looking good. That big
Always
puff of
watch
smoke
Gotta get out of
underneath
his
him.
way.
No pressure. Well, I haven't flown with you guys since they've done the update. How are you liking it so far? Not that you're a few weeks in.
It's good. I'll be honest, I've noticed more bugs than fixes. I didn't have too many problems with the stuff they were fixing, you know, but ever since the new update, it's introduced a couple little weird things, like issues with the flight planner that never happened before. Just weird stuff like that. Like for the most part, we've got it all figured out, so it works okay. But yeah, the things that they were spending a lot of time fixing, I never particularly had those problems.
Yeah.
But it's nice that it works and everybody has it now, because there was a lot of people who were excited about it, and I think it's good. I love how they keep improving it.
I feel
Sorry,
the
guys.
performance in VR is better than on SU2.
That's important. Yeah, I'm going to start doing a little more VR flying now too. Because in the new sim here, I just haven't done a whole lot. I used to do it a whole bunch in 2020, and in 24 I've only done it 2 or 3 times, and it was basically, it wasn't for fun, it was just to kind of check it out, you know.
I'm surprised they threw out another beta like a week after the release.
Yeah, they
I mean,
did.
I'm glad that they're.
Did you
they're-
grab
they're
that one
going.
already? Did you grab that,
Nah.
or just decided not to?
Nah, after my troubles from the last time, I think I learned my lesson.
I
Well,
am
guys.
so looking forward to when that comes out as a final release, because everyone's just raving about the performance of Update 4 now.
But the performance is apparently really good, but I'm reading and know a couple of the developers, and it introduces a lot of bugs and regressions, especially with third-party aircraft.
So there's going to be a lot of developers scrambling to get their stuff working, or worse yet, a lot of them that ain't even going to bother.
I think we're gonna wait 2 months until that comes out, probably.
Yeah.
It's all right, gentlemen. We're about ready to take off here. When we do, we're going to have to do a significant left-hand turn to get on our path. We're heading northeast. So we're going to do that. We're going to climb up to 5,000 feet and maintain 180 knots. And looks like everybody's ready. Lazerbolt is rolling. .5,000 feet, 180 indicated. This is wonderful. This is the biggest group flight we've had in quite a while. A few months at least. Probably more than that.
I say, the bigger the butter.
Getting a lot of fall colors on the trees down here, huh?
They do look nice, don't they?
Some snow in the mountains just to the north of the airport, on the hills. Must be getting chilly here. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I don't know when they put it in. It might have been for a while, but I jumped on here a couple days ago and was changing some controls for a specific aircraft, and I see that they finally, or maybe not finally, but they, whenever they did, put in the same stuff that was in FSU IPC, where you can tell the control set that I want it for this airplane and this type of airplane sort of thing, or like you can save it to a specific airplane set, which is really nice.
Do they still use FSU IPC? I haven't seen that in forever.
I was for 2020, but I haven't felt a need to put it on here yet.
Right.
it is really great for some things, but the developers of flight simulators should be working on that and putting it in. I don't like to see them putting, you know, Peter Dawson out of business or anything, but like some of these are very basic level things for anybody that has physical flight controls. It's definitely more of a requirement for basic.
Yeah, that used to be essential when we were flying FSX. I mean, you had to have FSU IPC or you couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm not using. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
I'm not using FSU IPC, but I'm using like something. I'm using SPAT next, and it is nice if you have like lots of peripherals, and especially when you want to do combinations between different peripherals. Like one button on one peripheral, for example, changes something on my other peripherals. For example, I have a rotary button where I can choose with another button on another device which function of the autopilot I want to control. And that stuff will probably never be available in directly from Microsoft Flight Simulator, or if you use stuff like a Stream Deck or the X-Touch Mini.
Yeah, I hear you there. It's like once you start getting complicated a little bit with your setup, then it's hard to stay away from those products.
And it's not affected by sim changes. You know, there were a lot of people that were on SPAT Next. And then when 2024 changed the entire configuration system, they were like, nah, doesn't bother me too much, you know, SPAT Next.
But then on the other hand, my girlfriend always calls me out, hey, I thought you're going you do flying, but you're only playing button configurator.
That's a good name for the sim, button configurator. That's funny. I like that.
I'll let her know.
You can tell her at least all the buttons are labeled. When I push your buttons, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, you'll find out in a hurry what's going to happen.
Make sure you have some lubrication on your face before she smacks you.
Yeah, looking good.
Oh, no,
Holding 5,000.
There was those memes of somebody took a picture in the cockpit and it says, you know, girls in airplanes are complicated or something like that, but at least in an airplane all the buttons are labeled.
You know what you're in for. Well, and they always do the same thing.
Usually. As long as there's no failures.
So you're saying girls are like Boeing MCAS?
Well, they don't usually try to kill you.
MCAS did.
Yeah. So I'm saying, no, not exactly.
Close, though.
What is she doing now? I mean, that's pretty much what the pilot said, right?
Yeah, pretty much, unfortunately. Yeah, it's what an embarrassment for Boeing, and then they just didn't make anything better after that.
Nah, that to me was really the nail in the coffin of the Boeing engineering prowess. That thing was just absolutely unexplainable, inexcusable on all levels. I mean, it's really sad how far they've sunk. You know, if you look at the 777, that was still a full-blown Boeing engineering thing, you know?
Yeah.
Brilliantly designed, brilliantly executed, you know,
Well,
but
the
ever since then.
The 777X, or don't forget, a lot of people have, has been not released still. And it was supposed to be released, I don't know, 10 years, who knows how many years ago now. And I know the MCAS situation had put them back, or supposedly, they're different
Isn't there also a demand issue that they feel like there's not enough demand for it at this point?
I don't know. They basically made everything but the assembly line for the airplane, so
Right.
I'm not sure if there could be a lack of demand issue, I suppose, but there's lots of companies that use the 777 for like freight and long haul
Right.
flights. I think between that and the 87 is kind of maybe the 87 just covers the bases enough. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
I heard a lot of airlines are quite happy with the A350-1000. I mean, that's just one step below a 777-8X, right? And it's, I don't know, you know, they're never going to be quite honest about it, right? They're going to try to find ways to make it all sound great.
Yeah.
Yep, but it's going to come down to what the pilots think of it, you know, and that's going to be the official word.
Well, it's more of a numbers thing. It's between the training cost and the operational cost and kind of what you already have. You know, like if there's like for example, American Airlines runs 777s, but Delta doesn't. And at least as far as I know, I don't think Delta does. And so depending on the training aspect, like it would make sense for American Airlines to get new 777s because they don't have to pay much for training their pilots to transition. So that's a part of it. That's why there was so many issues with the 37. And
Yeah, that was one of the big issues with the MCAS. It was not necessarily the engineering behind the MCAS. It was that they didn't change the training manuals because the airlines requested not to change it. So they can fly on the signed type certificate and don't have to retrain their pilots. So while I don't want to excuse Boeing, it was not the MCAS itself was not just on them. It was also very much on the airlines.
Right. Good point.
I had to hard disagree on that just because they didn't put MCAS in their training manuals, and when there is a new part to the airplane like that, they need to know about it. I don't think it was a bad thing for them to put MCAS in, but when the pilots don't know about the system and have no understanding of the system, that's the real fault.
That's what I completely agree upon. But the request to not put to make it as much, try to hide it and not put it in and not make it well known, came also from the airlines. Doesn't absolute Boeing in any way, shape, or form.
I didn't know the airlines pushed on that. I'm not super familiar with that side of it, and if that's true, then that's...
It's just any time they're not putting safety first, you know, very first priority, safety, there's a problem there, you know.
If Boeing didn't override the airlines on that, then that's shame on them. And the airlines asking for that, that's also shame on them.
But let me throw another one.
Exactly what I mean.
MCAS basically works as long as you have 2 AOA sensors. And the problem started when airlines were still allowed to order the plane with only 1 AOA sensor. And when that thing goes, you know, belly up, now MCAS goes nuts and wants to put the plane in the ground. You know, now you can point at Boeing again and say, well, why do you allow them to order with 1 sensor when you know how important the sensor is now? Because you put that MCAS thing on it, right? I mean, that's a Boeing thing. They should have never allowed that.
That's all of the manufacturers. It just baffles my mind that there's options for these airplanes.
I mean, how much is an AOA sensor? If you're buying a new 777, how much are you going to save? Are you going to save by only having 1 AOA sensor, right? I mean, it can't be more than a couple thousand or something. I mean, you know,
probably
you run into that though.
Buying it is not as expensive. I agree, maybe 10, maybe 50K in the whole big picture, not that expensive. But if the training of the maintenance staff and all that comes into play, it gets expensive.
Yeah.
Shouldn't excuse, no excuse to not do it, but money,
Pressures.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
is one of the things they have to calculate in as well.
Hey, you know what they say? $20 is $20.
I guess so, but it gets
That's
a little
what she said,
ridiculous. This whole conversation reminds me of like when I was painting houses and stuff like that, and you know, we would renovate houses, and this guy would have this big $50,000 renovation to his house, and then he wants to save $20 by using the old doorknob. It's like, dude, just get a good door. You know, spend $50 and get a good doorknob instead of this old janky ass one from the Civil War that you're still trying to make work. You know, you just put $50,000 into your house. Put a good doorknob on it.
Put that in your display case and leave
Yeah.
it there.
Or if it's from the Civil War, put it on eBay and get $200.
It wasn't even one of the good Civil War doorknobs.
Yeah, I think we all agree though, which is good. Safety should be first, and
That's right.
aviation, and you know, there is probably some reasons for them to choose this, that, or the other option, but some of the options I just kind of like. Why don't they make a, you know, like in cars, why don't they make a standard and only have options that don't affect safety?
I agree that safety first, but never forget, most of the people still go for the absolute cheapest flight they can find, and the margins are very, very slim.
Yep.
High spirit.
And you know, when you're paying $50 million for your car, you will go and want to customize everything the way you decided you want it.
Sure.
But there's also the I'm not flying airliners here in the simulator, but as far as I know, you can set the instruments in the 737, even in the new Max. I'm not sure about the new Max one, but I think in the NG, you can send them in a mode where it shows you a 6-pack instead of a digital flight display.
That's in the
that
real
was-
one?
Yeah, in the real one, and that was on a request from, I don't know from which air. I obviously only read that, so take it for what it is. That was on the request of one of the airlines that still had the old instruments in half of their fleet, and they didn't want to do full replacement training of everyone on the new instruments, so you can set the instruments in like an older mode, where they look like
Unbelievable.
instruments.
That's business.
How many, actually, just since we're on the topic, how many of you guys, by a show of, like, yes, since we don't have hands,
You?
at least,
I have hands.
how many of you guys have been in a 737 cockpit before?
Not the cockpit.
Okay.
Cricket.
Okay, how about show of hands, how many of you guys have been in a general aviation cockpit before?
Yes, the V-35B.
Yes.
172.
And you guys can relate that if you sit in there and close the door or whatever situation you're in, that it's pretty small and not spacious in there, right?
It seemed pretty big because I was only about 6 years old.
Everything was big.
Yeah, I was surprised. So I did a flight up to Atlanta Hartsfield, and I knew somebody that worked for Southwest Airlines, and got to do a tour around the hangar that they had there, and sat up in the front of the 737, and I was like dumbfounded because, you know, you're thinking flying a small airplane, it's quite small and tiny, and you're always, you know, bumping your elbow with anybody that's sitting next to you, no matter how you try to avoid it. And I was like, oh, 737 is going to be kind of, you know, bigger. Oh, it's bigger a little bit, but it still feels really small. It feels like everything is closer to you than what it does in like the simulator, 110%. And I was used to that in the small airplanes, and you know, my mind was already kind of like adjusted to that, but it wasn't adjusted to this. It just felt like everything was just like too close to me.
Do
And
you fly VR?
I do not.
Because that fixes that for you. If your world scale is right, because I noticed that I was in the 777 cockpit in VR, and it is cramped as heck. But then you are, you know, in a 747. That's not even all that big feeling when you're in there. But the 380, for instance, that is spacious. The VR helps you get the scale right. The flat screen just doesn't.
Yeah, and you know what? You're kind of right. Like, so you do need to be able to reach for switches without like getting up. So it makes sense in general. But
You need to be able to see and reach everything.
Yep. But it just felt like, I don't know, everything was just way closer.
Yeah.
Just wasn't-
No, I read as well on Reddit and other places that the 737 cockpit is very, very cramped. There was like a debate on Reddit, so take it for what it is, about jump seating in a A320 versus 737. And the consensus was, if you can avoid it, don't do 737.
That's funny. And probably a good tip.
I was
And the 80 looked really cramped too.
Yeah, I believe you. I was sitting in. There was the air show near here this summer, and they had C5 Galaxy and C17.
Ooh,
They have
Galaxy.
nice, spacious cockpits. Well, we were able to sit in that
Galaxy
one.
spacious everywhere.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like standing in the cargo hall, it was open on the front and the back, and that's just massive.
It's mind-boggling that you can even get something like that into the air. You know, it looks like a ship.
When you watch that thing fly, it feels like it's not even moving fast enough to fly.
Yeah.
It's-
Right.
Yeah, this big aircraft look like they're in slow motion.
Although I have to say, seeing the C-17 doing an air show is even more impressive. How, for such a huge airplane, how nimble and aggressive they fly that thing.
Yeah,
And let's
as long
not
as it's nice and
forget
sturdy.
the reverse thrust on that thing is insane.
Oh, the landing, the short field landing, and then
Yeah, and then they
backing
back
on the
up like
reverse
it's nothing.
thrust.
Well, you know, when it's empty, it's easier.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Or definitely looks a lot better when you know you're running it for performance. You know, like the new 737 Max that when they were initially doing their show off performance videos and stuff. Man, that thing was like going, I don't know, 30 to 40 degrees straight up. But of course, it's an empty
Yeah, of
airplane. Who knows if it had seats in it even? But yeah.
But it's still fun to look at it at an air show.
Absolutely, 100%.
Speaking of air show, that's some nice flying, Pacifier. You've been right on me.
Thank you, sir.
You got any ice cubes? You could hand them to me. My drink is getting a little bit warm.
No, but I'm armed, and you look like a mighty nice target.
You look like you're protecting me. I like that
you never
scenario
know,
better.
do ya?
That's a much better scenario.
That's what he wants you to believe.
Right. Yep, get him nice and comfortable. It is weird seeing you in a 404 and the blades ain't even spinning and you're just like super maneuverable.
I'm seeing him as the C-130J. Did you start
Really?
out with the C-130J?
Wow, yeah, I got him in a 404 just like mine.
Yeah, he looks like a 404 to me.
Well,
seen that
you know,
35.
they try their best with the model matching, and I got to say the model matching isn't quite as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, but-
I'm sorry, I'm in the jet fighter. So why is it not taking the F-18 that comes with every set?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it should.
think
It seems like it'd be easy enough, but nope, it don't.
I think
But
it's
at least
that
you're
part
not-
we talked about. It just takes for whatever you don't have. The first one gets a choice,
Yeah.
and then everything else you don't have delivery or anything gets the same, just
Yeah.
the same plane.
But
Yeah.
back in the
rest,
day,
even if-
as a matter of fact, up until this sim right here, if it didn't know what airplane you were in, it would show you as a 747. There you go. Every time, every airplane that you don't know, there's 747s all over the place. You
Or
know,
a
there's
Bonanza,
747s
if you go
acting
for
like
small
helicopters and
stuff.
stuff.
Always
But at least
Bonanza.
now
Yeah,
it does
2020.
something slightly different.
Yeah, 2020 was always bonanzas.
2020 with the model matching mod, that was decent, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I still think it would be easy to just give us a drop-down menu. We can like right-click on the screen, and it lists everybody who's in range, and you can click on their name and say show him as this, and show this guy as that, and show this guy as that. It'd be simple, you know, and then it remembers what you showed it as. And every time that airplane shows up, it shows what you want it to. It seems simple, but it must not be, because they never even come close to doing that.
No, they did with the model matching in 2020. That's what you did, not with people, but you just went offline and you said every time somebody comes with this plane, show it as this plane. And it worked great. That's what I think it was Matthew just said. Worked great, but that logic doesn't work in 2024 anymore, according to the people who wrote that tool. You know, so once again we get screwed. You know.
Well, screwed, I guess, is one way to put it. They added new features that borked old features.
I think they could run probably one script that's maybe 200 lines of code. All you got to do is say, does this model match something that this player has? No. Okay. Then, or yes, and then use the same thing. But if no,
at least just have broad categories. You know, fighter jet, helicopter, that stuff. You know, make a broad category. Yeah. Fighter jet, helicopter, small, you know,
GA,
bush plane.
Yep.
You just step down until you get a match.
I talked to the guy on a similar flight where he joined that did the model matching mode, and he had a couple of things to say. One was that the ICAO database is completely fucked, and most stuff doesn't have a real ICAO code, and new airplanes come in by ICAO code, and internally in the simulator it's super weird. That's why they can't change it anymore. It was already super weird in 2020. And then the other problem you have with that simple solution is that if you put the full model on for some airplanes, like that was the problem, for example, when the A380 was released at the beginning. If you have full fidelity models for all the multiplayers, you start eating up VRAM like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have low-res models.
You also have performance issues. So it is not as, while I agree they could do better, I work in software engineering, and I'm
it's
pretty
more
sure
complex
it's
than
not
you
as,
think.
Yeah. They're not stupid. They're not every decision they make, I think, is good, but they're also not stupid. And it's usually way more complex than it looks on from the first glance.
Yeah, very true.
I actually noticed that with SU3 I noticed, because they improved the matching. And yeah, I could tell there's certain planes in a large group flight, I can't fly them anymore because they exceed the VRAM budget. And that's only because now all these different liveries are there that before were bonanzas or something.
Okay, since you're streaming airplanes now, or you can selectively stream, or you can just literally set in the programming to use low poly models instead of real ones, I suppose. At least.
Yeah, but I don't want to fly next to that. I like to fly close to people. You know, that's really fun. So I don't want to fly next to a 5,000 poly plane, right? So you see, it's that there's this catch-22, you know.
Well, you're never gonna please everyone.
Well, it seems like they could release, like, just make it mandatory that if you're going to put something on the marketplace, it includes low-res textures, just for everybody else to see, you know? With
the new, so with the 2020 models and model loading, if you have 2024, obviously, sorry, not 2022, there you have to include low poly, low res models for the different loading distances. But since a lot of models are still compiled with 2020, they don't have the infrastructure to actually do that.
And then you get things like a guy gets a little far from you and it disappears because it doesn't have that LOD.
Yep.
I think there's a compromise in here for everybody. It's just a matter of setting a standard and then doing it. And
well, gentlemen, just to interrupt real quickly, I'm loving this conversation, but we are on inbound to Sundsvall-Harnosand at Echo Sierra November. When we get there, count on runway 34. We're going to be landing on runway 34. We have a 6,200 foot of bituminous, so be prepared for that. Not much elevation. It's right on the sea level here, about 11 feet. But we have runway 34 with an ILS frequency of 110.3. 110.3 at a heading of 332 magnetic. We'll count on 34 when we get to Sundsvall.
Soon we will be in Sundsvall.
Very soon.
Does that mean two of us are gonna crash? Because we're landing on a by two in us?
Oh boy, I hope not.
We know Travis is with us tonight, don't we?
Sorry.
No,
I love that stuff.
I
you
just
know why
love that
dolphins-
you keep trying. I love that. Just keep them coming, buddy. Keep them coming.
You know why dolphins have babies?
No.
To give them a porpoise.
Oh boy. That's awesome. That's awesome. I got shivers.
That sounds like those little short videos you see on Facebook or different places where the deer hunters are all three guys sitting together saying jokes just like that.
I'm sure that one's been created before, but I thought of it the other day.
Sorry, it's copyrighted.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So Longhorn, both you and Wingnut Bob said you're probably going to be gone next weekend, huh? Doing a little traveling?
Not next weekend, weekend after.
Yeah, I'm leaving on the 4th of October.
Oh, I see. Right on.
Yeah,
Hopefully it's a
be here
good
next-
time.
Actually,
It's
and
a
I'm-
trip
I
for
mean-
fun, right? Not for, it's for pleasure, not work.
Yeah, visit family.
Yeah, we're going camping. But I
Good.
think we're leaving Saturday the 5th, so I might be able to get on that Friday night. But then for sure the following Friday I'll be gone for.
Right on. I always have this nagging fear in the back of my head that one of these days, it hasn't happened yet, it's come close, but one of these days I'm going to hop on here on a Friday night and I'm going to be flying all alone. It's never happened. In 14 years, it's never happened. But I just got that feeling. It's like one of these days, like I said, everybody's going to be gone, or, nobody shows up, everybody's busy, and I'm just going to fly all alone.
It's not because we don't like you.
Well, it's just, it'll be hard to come up with something to talk about for 2 hours.
Well, you had to pull up your voice AI app and talk to the AI person.
Have a conversation
think,
with the
yeah.
AI.
The AI person will also be interested in brisket, I'm sure.
Tell me more about your brisket. I love brisket.
Yes.
You are so interesting, Lisa.
It's like, was the AI trying to get in my pants or something? Tell me how nice I am. Like hitting me
Can
with
you
a
make
bunch
some
of,
for me?
tee hee hee, you're so funny.
Yep.
Now, when are we gonna get our divorce? I'm sorry.
Here, probably in about another 10 miles or so, I'm going to jog off to the right. And I understand that's a controversial statement in some places, but we are going to go off to the right here a few degrees so we can line up with 3-4. Not yet, about 10 miles.
I'll be right back.
Yep, you already lost one, Laser. There goes one.
Oh, they're dropping off. We lost 2, Costa and Travis. I have a feeling they'll be back. Just a reminder, gentlemen, when we get to Sundsvall, we will be taking a 10-minute break. That's our penultimate stop for the evening. It's tradition to take 10-minute breaks so you can use the restroom or update your drink. And, yeah, it should be a good time. That's also long enough for anybody to join us at the last airport if they would like to. 10 minutes is easily enough to download this game because it's a pretty small download. Grab it on Game Pass. Come join us. Get the information in the group flight info here on Discord, or you can check the description of the video on YouTube. It's got it all in there, and we would love to have you. And while you're checking that out, scroll down and you'll see there's a subscribe button and a like button. It's a lot of fun to click those. It's fun. Click it. Do it. Everybody's doing it. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and go about 5 degrees to the right here. That'll help us line up. Yeah, Bob, this 404 was a good choice. I'm glad you recommended it. I like this airplane a lot.
Well, I'm glad you do. I enjoy flying it. I like the older stuff.
Yeah, like I said, it's a great vintage mixed with slightly newer cockpit. It's wonderful. I love it. Anything where I can get gauges over a completely glass cockpit. Give me gauges any day. I love it.
Bob, if you like the 404, try the 414 from Fly Somewhere. It's quite a bit better. Like it's payware, obviously, but it's like one of the best twins.
It's one of the good ones, eh?
I saw one today on the marketplace. I think it said 406 though, but it looked just like this airplane, but has
The
a little
414
more.
It is an older release. It's a 2020 release, the 414 canceller, but it works very well in 2024. And it's like pressurized, so you have a little bit more toys to play with. Has a really nice EFB. I'm really happy with that.
Guys, I just realized that for the first time, I have people in my airplane. I've never, every time I look in the back, there's just a bunch of empty seats. I got people back there. I got 4 people. I got 1 lady on a stretcher and 3 other ladies just kind of chilling out. Yeah.
That's because you're in the medical one, the medical version.
I guess I am. Yeah, I'm in the red one, just the regular default one they give you. But I've never seen people in the back before. If it wasn't a mission or a career mode. Yeah, usually it's just a bunch of empty seats back there. Yeah, I've got some lady on a stretcher and she's fully awake. They got stuff plugged into her. She got an oxygen tank. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, the passenger version's empty.
All right, we're getting awful close here. I'm going to bring this bird down to 3,000 feet. Negative 1,000 vertical speed. I love it when you're flying around, like Europe in particular has a lot of this, where it's a relatively big city. Look at this thing down below us here. It's a relatively big city. It even looks relatively modern buildings and everything like that, but there's no big skyscrapers and all this. It's just a regular old city, you know? It's nice. the Sundsvall Bridge right there. We didn't even go under it.
There's one in front of you.
Oh, there is another one. That one looks a little bit low, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
About another 2 miles, I'm going to turn final for runway 34. So what kind of a final approach speed can we get on this thing? I would sure hate to stall it. I mean, just looking at the gauge, it looks like you're safe if you don't go below like maybe 80 or even 70.
I usually do close to 100.
That's what I did last time, and it worked out pretty good. If you got plenty of flaps, I'm sure you can go slower than that.
A bit of a warning. There is a piece of a bridge right before the threshold, kind of.
So do we fly under it?
No, you want to fly over it.
I'd like to see you go under it.
No, it's not orthogonal to you. It's in line with the runway. It's just weird.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Never
it now.
seen that.
Yeah, it's broken.
At least it's not the biggest tree in the area. That's usually what's at the end of the runway. The tallest tree in the entire region.
Right?
We're not an FSX anymore, Laser. The PTSD doesn't need to come back.
It's not quite as bad as it used to be, but it still happens.
It does happen, yeah. They want you to remember where
There's so
your
many
roots
name
are.
tags, I'm having trouble seeing the runway. And by so many name tags, I mean 2. I really need to map a button to turn those off, on and off, toggle them.
There is one for that, and it's not pre-mapped.
Yeah, I need to do that.
The nameplates toggle, you mean?
Usually I'm the first one in, so I don't have to deal with that very often, but like this time, it's like this is a huge runway and I could barely see it.
I bound it to P. I just toggle it on and off with P.
I was so glad when they got rid of that gray black background to the name tags.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Oh,
The way
like
they've
they
got
had
it
in
now is
2020.
perfect. It's almost like the letters are surrounded by a little bit of a black, and so you can see them against the clouds even.
Yeah, it's
White
like a
is
drop shadow.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
nice.
the white is perfect that they chose in regards to blending in with Flight Simulator not being too intrusive.
I'm a little undecided whether I like it or don't like it how the name tags get smaller the farther away somebody is. Because sometimes if somebody's really far away, I can barely see the name tag. I don't even know they're with us, you know.
I can
But it's
agree
an
with that.
interesting idea. I see where they're going with it.
That's why
I
I
think-
bind a key on my mouse, a button on my mouse to the Windows magnifier, and I can
Oh, yeah.
zoom in and zoom out.
Say, guys, it is 10 to the hour right now. We'll call it 10 to the hour. At straight up at the hour, we are going to be in the air. So count on that. That's 10 minutes from now. We're going to be in the air, not on the runway, in the air. So use that time wisely.
I'm gonna have to hop off here, but thank you all so much for the flight. Really enjoyed it. You all enjoy the rest.
It's always fun hanging with you,
Have
Pacifier.
a good
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, have a good
Thanks for
night.
the company and good conversation.
Nice meeting you, Pacifier.
Nice meeting you.
Have a good one.
Have a great one.
The grass is very bumpy on this airport.
None of it looks very nice either. It's all patchy and brown.
It is very bumpy. I hope you weren't watching me texting over in the grass because. Holy moly.
Jumping all over.
Oh yeah.
This game does a good job simulating that, though. When you get off the runway, it's pretty harsh. FSX didn't care. You could drive on anything, and it was all the same.
Yeah, even 2020 was way worse in that regard.
It was almost too much.
I think it was more kind of flat-ish. It wasn't as bad as FSX, but yeah.
On this one, I think even last week we had a runway that on the side of it there was like a ditch. So as soon as you try to get off the runways, you got to be ready for this big dip. Yeah, I should go make a brisket sandwich.
There you go.
I'm kidding. I'm on day 4 of eating nothing but brisket. That's why I am looking forward to tomorrow. I'm going to take everything that's left and make a chili. And that's very different than eating brisket every day for 4 days. A big pot of chili is wonderful. Looking forward to that. Wingnut Bob, that was an amazing landing there, buddy. You could have landed 4 times on this runway. That was nice and short.
Fine, thank you, sir.
Was that a ILS approach?
Well, it started out there. I didn't get lined up right, I guess, and didn't grab me.
I know, it looked pretty good. So my Lions got the Monday night game this week. Looking forward to that. It's always fun having a Monday nighter. We get to play the Baltimore Ravens. Everybody's all, oh my God, the Ravens are super good, and this, they're good. I think Green Bay offered more of a challenge than these guys. I think the Ravens are 1-1 currently, and they're a good team, but they're not. When I look at the schedule, they're not one of the teams I'm scared of.
We beat them.
Yeah, you're the guys that gave them that one, huh?
Yep, we got them.
Well, you guys are one of those teams that is a little bit scary. When you guys are playing good and when your quarterback is on fire, he is on fire, man. Like that big comeback win. That was right. That was against the Ravens, wasn't it? And man, yeah, when you guys got into a rhythm, it was unstoppable. They did everything they could try to do, and they couldn't stop you. And ended up losing that one.
Yeah, what happens is in the second half, when the defenses are all winded and everything, then the offenses haven't been doing much in the first half or doing less. All of a sudden, the defenses have a tough time keeping up with them.
Bit of a rope-a-dope strategy there. Yeah, I believe my Lions do have to play you guys at the end of the year too. In the last maybe 5 games, we do got to play the Bills, so that'll be interesting.
Well, we should be on here Discord and talk about it.
Well, we should have a little party.
Gotta pay the bills?
Yeah, pay them bills. Actually, I met OJ. I keep telling you that stuff.
Really, you met OJ?
Yeah, I met OJ and I knew him slightly.
Wow. And you live to tell the story.
Yeah, well, I don't like to talk about it too much.
Well, yeah, it's a bit of a touchy subject, isn't it? Yeah. But still, I mean, that's cool. Not everybody met OJ. I wouldn't mind being able to tell people I met OJ. Guys, we're going to be out of here in about a minute and a half, so let's retake runway 34, and we'll do this final leg. We are on our way to Finland.
So we're about to finish?
We're about to finish. That's great. Travis, I love you, man. When I was in
sorry. You know why they put barcodes on the side of their ships, right?
Oh, I hate to ask.
So they can Scandinavian?
Oh God, that's great. Actually, that is pretty good. The more I think about it, that's a good one.
So you're gonna hand rub your aircraft?
You gotta stop doing that while I'm taking a drink.
How'd it smell?
I do like that though. Now that I think about it, they got barcodes so they can scan the Navy in. That's good.
That wasn't an original one. I can't claim that one.
Can't take credit for that.
Y'all
one?
see that?
Nope. That's trademarked.
Y'all see that crazy bridge behind us back there? Who's coming in? What's like a half the bridge sticking out?
Yeah, like right at the end of the runway. Yeah, I think.
There was 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew said something about that.
It could be the runway lighting, just like the AI saw something, but in an original it could be the runway lighting going over the river.
I 100% agree that's exactly what's likely going on.
Yeah, I've taken the drone down here to look at it. It's actually a bridge that's just going over the river at the start of the runway.
I'm surprised they don't have cars going over it.
I
All right, guys, it is the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and get these birds up in the air. Make sure I got my flaps set properly here, and Lazerbolt's rolling.
Rolling.
5,000 feet, 180 knots will get us to Finland. When I was in high school, our school had a Finnish foreign exchange student, and I was absolutely in love with her, 100%. She did not feel the same way, but that didn't matter to me. I still thought she was great. She was actually staying, the host family she had was one of my friends, so I would go over there all the time, and all of a sudden just because her name was Ritva, kind of an odd name if you're an American, Ritva, but she was super cool. Yeah.
Did she finish her school year?
She did, yeah, completely finished the whole thing, yeah. Oh, I get it. Finish the. Oh, jeez. I walked right into that one. Got it. That took me far too long to catch that one. All right, turning right to get back on course here. Truly. Yeah, she was a bit of a rich girl, so we didn't have a whole lot in common. But I still thought she was the tops.
Is there a way to add fuel in your aircraft when you've already started a flight?
To add fuel?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think you can go into the EFB and do it.
Yep.
Yep, go into the EFB and the middle button on the left. 3 from the top, 3 from the bottom, right in the middle.
In there.
Then you click configure.
Maybe I'm not there.
Okay.
Okay, I gotcha.
Click configure and then set the slider where it says quick fill to how much fuel you want.
Thank you for.
It's always handy.
Load aircraft, load immediately, and you're done.
Holding 5,000.
Yeah, I didn't forget to do that before I left, and I'm not just hanging out on the side of some hill here. So just ignore that name tag that's sitting there on the grass.
Just so it looks better that way.
I meant to like go to the fuel stop and see if it would pick some fuel up, and I walked away and then came back and completely forgot. Thank you.
No problem.
I see our buddy Jared Ouellette stopped in to say greetings programs. Hey Jared, hopefully I didn't miss you by a mile. I just looked up and saw that message. How's it going, buddy? Happy Friday night. When we get to Echo Foxtrot Victor Alpha at Vaasa, it is recommending that we come in on runway 16, and I agree, runway 16 sounds good. I got a 9-knot wind. It probably varies depending on who you are. Let's see here. We're going to be coming 16, which has an ILS frequency of 108.5. 108.5 on the localizer there. And it's a huge runway, 8,000 foot of asphalt. So, 8,000 foot of asphalt at a heading of 153 magnetic. Count on runway 16 when we get to Vaasa.
Sorry, I thought we'd be landing on the water.
Nope. Am I missing something?
Vaasa?
Oh, okay.
Have to be under the water.
Ouch.
I mean, you caught what I was picking up, right, Laser?
The funny thing is, there's a localizer here called OJ.
Ouch.
I think I would feel quite comfortable flying this airplane again next week. I really like this thing. So why don't we just go ahead and count on that? We'll do this same airplane or anything that can maintain around 180 knots, and we'll have a lot of fun.
Sounds good to me.
Talking about flying, I called the flight school today, and I will have my first discovery flight lesson in 2 weeks.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, congrats, man. Please keep us updated on that. That sounds great.
Yeah, I will not do the flight school this year. I want to just do like 2 or 3 flight school discovery flights to figure out which school I then in the end want to use. Because I will do here in Pacific Northwest, flying in the winter is not that much fun, so
Right.
I will do the training next summer.
Fantastic. Congrats on that. Yeah.
Lots to learn.
Yeah, I will try to do the whole ground school and stuff in winter though.
Are you hoping for that to lead to a job, or is it just to have your private?
No, I'm too old for a job, and I like my job in IT. It's just for private and fun.
Very cool. Jealous.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yep.
That doesn't sound like you're a person afraid of that, but yeah, like maybe not at the time, because when you're in the moment, you're just like kind of, depends on what kind of mind you have, but you're just doing it to do it. But you know, I always think back, because like every time I put that throttle forward, it's taking a initial big decision of, you know, you're planning on being in the air, and for every second that you're in the air, you got to, well, not, you know, look at your life is in your hands and essential like every second, but you're making decisions all the time of, if you start making the wrong decision, that even by accident, your life is in your hands. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, no risk, no reward, but
I agree, but then on the other hand, it's the same if you drive on a 2-lane road with cars coming against you.
I was just going to say that. Every time you pull out of the garage and drive onto the road.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the reason I stopped riding my motorcycle after I got married, because I had kids.
good idea.
Yeah.
Like
It's crazy
here,
out there.
Here in Florida, it's pretty much like well known for anybody that's lived here long enough that if you're riding a motorcycle around, you're pretty much risking your life just for the fact that even other people won't see you. But yeah, it's crazy. So I was driving home. This is why I wasn't at last week's flight. Was I went to the west coast of Florida to visit some friends and family. And on my way back, I was driving at probably 11 o'clock at night or at least at this point, and to get back home. It's about a 3 to 3.5 hour drive or so. And about halfway through, just south of Orlando, I was behind somebody that was possibly intoxicated, showing lots of signs of so, and they were almost hit somebody on the other side of the road. And it's just
how easy it could happen, you know.
But you know, if they didn't swerve back in or whatever was going on there, there's something not right. You know, that just because you can drive perfectly doesn't mean it can't happen to you.
Absolutely. I live just north of Orlando in a little town called DeLand. You probably heard of it. And I see them on the news every morning, local news.
You lived or you live now?
I'm there now.
Okay. Yeah, it's not too far from me. I'm in Palm Bay, near Cocoa.
Gotcha.
Or Melbourne, I guess.
Yeah, I just moved here about a year ago.
Small world.
Yep.
I left Florida 12 years ago now.
What part were you in?
The Panhandle, Fort Walton Beach.
It's not too awful far from Pensacola, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, it's just right down the road. Right there beside Harbor Field, that's where I was at, so that's where I lived there.
Cool. Pensacola is probably the part of Florida I'm most familiar with. And it is probably the least Florida part of Florida.
Yeah. I like that area. The Panhandle was okay. It was easy trip to Pensacola or Mobile to go to the museums and stuff.
Yeah, I liked it too. Where you got Gulf Shores right there, that's a nice area. Plus, like you said, that Naval Air Museum, that's awesome. The NAS museum there is just freaking great. I can go there every day.
Went there a lot. Took family every time they'd come down to visit over there.
You know, for a jet team, the Blue Angels are by far the best jet team to watch.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that if you're in the Pensacola area, you're going to see a lot of the Angels. That is a plus.
Yep.
Unless you're jumpy.
Because they're loud.
I got to see a lot of the Thunderbirds, but that's because I was in the Air Force. So, but they're both good. I enjoy watching either one.
So my dad was kind of upset because he was in the Air Force for at least 8 years, and he's like, "Oh, you think the Blue Angels are better than the Thunderbirds?" Like, "Yep. Sorry to tell you." And I have no bias for one or the other. Like, I actually would prefer if the Air Force is better, but no. You remember Razor? Razor kind of pointed out all the details and the differences between the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds, and I went to air show with him.
Mm-hmm.
And just an old guy or not old guy, like a guy around my age or a few years younger that really was so 100% into all this stuff, and he was right.
He really knows his Blue Angels for sure. That was his thing, man.
Yeah, he was 100% right, because he knew the differences of everything and so forth, and I think it dwindles down to accidents and what the certain military branch did in reciprocation to accidents, and the Blue Angels and the Navy did not make the minimums as tight as the Thunderbirds. And then there was also a couple other differences that were not related to that.
They stood out. There is a fantastic Blue Angels documentary on Amazon Prime. If you got Amazon Prime, check that out. It's absolutely fantastic. They spent a year with the Blue Angels, and basically that's their entire cycle. You know, every year they get their leaders, and then, you know, people graduate from there and they move on. They get a new person in that has to do whatever they do. So it was really fascinating seeing how it's all structured. And then in that year, they're preparing for the season, because they have a season just like any other sport, you know, to where they've got a bunch of shows to do, and so they're preparing, they're improving last year's show, and just if you like that kind of stuff, and I know if you fly Flight Simulator with us, you do like that kind of stuff, check that out. It's on Amazon Prime. I don't know what the name of it is, but if you just like search for the Blue Angels, it's a great documentary. It's beautiful too, beautifully shot.
I think I watched it.
Yeah, it makes me want to watch it again now that we're talking about it. It's been a while since I've seen it, probably 5 years. Maybe not that long, 4. But it came out shortly after, whenever that Maverick movie, that Top Gun Maverick movie, it was released right around that same time. When that kind of thing was hot, it was in the zeitgeist, so they released it then. And yes, I would totally recommend that people watch that. It's good. And I like that military approach to stuff, you know. I mean, just the precision of it all is really interesting to watch.
Well, after all that damage I put to it, I don't know what's wrong with my plane, but it can't go over 160 knots, so I'm gonna be a few minutes behind you guys.
What are you in again?
The C90. I just reset all my throttle levers, and I think it's climbing now, so never mind.
Yeah,
Check your flaps.
I did that in my gear first, and then I guess it was one of my levers there that was behind for some reason.
A mixture, perhaps?
I don't know, like, mixture's not really a big deal on these turbines, but something, either that or the pitch or whatever, but it's fine now.
Hey,
So we got
Laser,
GMB here checking in. Yeah,
I'm gonna
GMB
read you a
says,
couple sentences. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying GMB says, just dropping by. He says he missed these live lately. That's good. I'm glad you could be here for a little bit.
I just looked up that Blue Angels thing on Prime. Is it the Blue Angels follows the newest class of the storied Navy and Marine Corps flight squadron through intense training and into a season of heart-stopping aerial artistry, and the veterans on the team who this year will take their final flights about an hour and a half.
Yeah, that sounds
Sound
about right.
good?
Like I said, it's a full hour and a half documentary. Really good. It follows them for an entire year. It's wonderful. Absolutely
Yeah, I'll
wonderful.
check it out.
Yeah, it's shot beautifully too. I'm not 100%, but it might even be like shot in IMAX. So it's really good. Although I'm not sure it ever played in theater, so maybe not. J&B is saying a Cessna twin turboprop. Yeah, we're flying the 404 Twin Titan is what it's called. It's actually a little bit of a vintage. No, sorry, yeah, it's not a turboprop on this one. It really looks like it. It really does. And it can go about 200 knots if you push it, which is impressive for something that's not a turboprop. It's just probably the biggest downside of that isn't the speed, but you don't have reverse thrust when you get to your airport. But other than that, it's really nice. I like it. You see in the cockpit here, it's kind of a vintage airplane. It's a bit of an older one, so it has what I like. It's got all the steam gauge dials going on. I love those, but it also has a GPS and everything. So it's a nice mixture of the old and the new. It's got a really nice autopilot system, and it's beautiful. I like it. And I also noticed that they've modeled it so the windshield gets nice and dirty after you fly for a while. Not quite as dirty as that was that Sky Courier. That was ridiculous. It was too much. But this, yeah, it's getting dirtier.
Hey, Matthew? Are you around still?
Yep.
I probably didn't pronounce your name right, but sorry about that. You want to correct me on that?
No, Matu sounds about
Perfect.
close enough. Let's put it that way.
All right. So my recommendations for your flying experience from what I had to deal with is I did interview some instructors before I started, and then if you want to go the cheaper way around it, it might also not hurt to do like a 30-minute ground lesson with them first, and even pay for the 30-minute ground lesson because ground time is way cheaper than air time.
Yep.
That would be my recommendation, so that way you can try to one and done it, because when you start getting in the air with some of these people, you can learn how they teach before you get in the air. So if they teach you on a ground lesson, right, not just learning what you know, just actually have them at least for 50% of a 30-minute ground lesson. So for 15 minutes, have them teach you anything, you know, just any little aspect, you know, like even like A tomato flames, which is just something you look up. It's just basically like an acronym for things that you need to fly the airplane before you take off and stuff. But that's what I would recommend for trying to make the best of your money and getting the right instructor.
That's a good idea. Thanks.
Okay.
The JMB says that his uncle would love this because he used to be a flight instructor. Awesome, JMB. I didn't know that about you. Got the flight instructor uncle going on. Cool. Also, howdy, Captain Hopper. Good to see you. My buddy Captain Hopper up in here.
I know.
He always appears in my Star Wars Day videos as an essential part. He is Captain Skyhopper. Hangs out with Spacey. It's a great time.
I thought he was a star.
He kind of is. He out-acts me by a mile.
Yeah, thanks for all your participation in Laser's videos. You really make it all come together.
Yeah, Travis, exactly. He's the only person that I've ever, in 8 years of making videos, that I've ever actually wanted to work with. You know, yeah, he's the first person besides myself to ever appear in one of my videos.
I mean, I did appear as a GTA guest once, but that doesn't count completely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but not on camera.
Yeah, not on camera, no.
Yeah. Recently, we added a new character to this year's Star Wars video. We got Jared the TIE Pilot, and I appreciate his participation too, because that was a big addition. He's a guy that I've been hanging around with on a different community for a while, and yeah, I like the cut of his jib, and he makes a perfect TIE Pilot. As a matter of fact, that's usually the name he goes by, is Jared the TIE Pilot. So I figured, if I need to have a TIE Fighter pilot in my video, I mean, who else am I going to ask, right? I got to ask him. And I was glad he said yeah, and that was fun having him on board.
You just gotta make sure that they're your type. Sorry, that was a stretch. That was a TIE pilot type thing, yeah.
Which is sometimes they go over my head, buddy. I'm trying to figure it out, and I don't know if I should laugh or you were serious.
Yeah, you gotta tie it together.
He's trying to talk about something that binds.
Yeah, JMB says his uncle used to teach AFA guys on a single prop Cessna before they'd go on to anything like training jet or whatever. Very cool, man.
Air Force Academy. Awesome.
Yeah, must have been part of the academy. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, everybody's got to start on the bottom, and so it doesn't matter. That's kind of like, I guess, a humbling part is that nobody starts flying jets on day one, or nobody starts flying anything on day one. pretty much everybody's starting on Cessna type airplanes to get their grassroots set and then going from there.
Thank you, guys. I'll take care. Take care, guys. I'll see you next week. Not
Right
next
on.
week. Next
Right on,
next
Coast.
Friday, I'll be busy. Take care.
Yeah, you take care of
Thanks,
yourself,
Coast.
man. Yeah,
Yep.
take care of
Take care,
yourself.
Coast.
and we'll see you next week, pal.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple
Care,
weeks,
Coast.
guys.
2 weeks.
Weekend.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. See you in 2 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and turn to the left here, maybe 10 degrees, and that'll help us line up for our runway.
Speaking about scanning the Navy in, water are we flying over?
Water are we flying over? I don't know. What is this? The North Sea?
It is water that we're flying over, actually.
Yeah, I don't know what body of water this is, but yeah.
Sure goes for a
Actually,
whiz.
it's a. I don't know what is water called when it's kind of like a peninsula, but a peninsula made of water. Bay or a gulf. It's a big gulf.
I think you're right from the North Sea. I think it used to be called like the Germanic Sea or the Deutsche Sea or whatever back before World War One.
Google Maps says it's the Gulf of Bothnia, but Bothnia.
Right on. I like the sound of that.
I am looking in the wrong place. I don't know where I'm at.
Take care of you too, JMB. He's heading out. Have a good rest of your weekend, and hopefully your fantasy team does well. I'm not sure how good I'm going to do this week in fantasy. I'm the team I'm going against is like one of the top teams. He's undefeated. He just did like the auto pick thing, so he got a bunch of auto pick players. But turns out the computer knows what it's doing when it automatically picks your stuff. And yeah, I'm going up against a tough hombre this week for sure.
Well, you just never know when you're gonna Detroit Lions your way out of things.
Ouch, Travis.
Hey, they did a good job lately.
Oh, JMB was just saying take care of the coast. Yeah, that's right. Glad you're staying, buddy. Yeah, Coast is a great fellow, man. I really dig him. It'd be nice to see him take care of business.
The biggest heart.
We're not too awful far away. I'm going to give it maybe another, maybe 10 miles or so. I'm going to drop her down to 3,000 feet.
Sorry, I wasn't meaning to impose the track record of the Lions, more so the recent record. Coming out from a expected loss as in winning like the majority of their whole season. That was impressive.
Yeah, JMB, you're right about that, the way the pick system works. But then again, I always go, this is like the 10th year that I've just gone straight up. I pick all Lions players. And everybody's almost like, oh, that's silly, that'll never work. But it does. It works here and there. I've actually won the league before on years where my Lions weren't even all that good. But, you win some, you lose some. But at least this way I can sit here and watch the game and I never have to root for somebody I don't like. Like, I hate when it's like, in all actuality, it would be better for me for this team to lose, but I'm sitting here rooting for them because I've got their tight end. You know what I mean? That feels like I'm betraying my Lions. I hate that feeling. So, yeah, I just go all Lions so I never have any conflicts.
Hey, Matthew, do you know what type of airplanes you're expecting to fly?
The 172s. I think all the schools around here have 172s.
Good starter.
That's what I started on.
There is one school that has DA 20s and 40s, and for no apparent reason, I really like them. But the school is in a location where it's one of the busiest GA training airports around here, so I'm not going there.
Okay, yeah. I haven't flown those or been in those other than like at an air show. Looked around the cockpit and around the airplane and such, but they're definitely much more modern than the 172.
Oh, for me it's just from like Flight Simulator, and I just like them, the looks and the modernness of them.
Yes.
There is no good reason to like them more over the 172s. Like the 172s are great airplanes, but sometimes you look at something and you just like A more than B.
Yeah. I'm not against that at all. You like what you like, and I'm not against that. I did enjoy learning on the 172 though, because the high wing, you can see a lot on the ground and such with the high wing, where the low wings are, of course, a little bit more difficult.
I completely believe you that the high wing is it might be better, because a lot of people learn on the high wing, so there has to be something to say about high wings that is good. And as I say, there is no reason, just because I like the looks a little bit more of the low wing DAs, diamonds, I'm not going to pay the additional cost.
Yeah, like another $20, $30.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily will go with the cheapest flight school. I want a one that I like, that I feels good.
That's what I do too, yeah.
But I also don't have to go drive further and pay pointless more money to learn on glass and on an airplane.
I learned on the 6-pack 172. My school did have the Garmin 1000s, the first school that I went to, and I'm glad that I did it. It could have been better if I did a mix, but it would have been more money, and at the time and then I ended up using glass stuff anyways afterwards in my progression, so it didn't matter to me as much, because I kind of knew that was going to happen anyways. But you definitely, without the glass, you will have all the routes in, and everything in the future is just going to be kind of like, on the simulator essentially, like almost simpler, more complicated in aspects, but still, you know what everything is supposed to do. And
I don't think there is, for private pilot training, I don't think there is any advantage of glass. Quite the opposite. Yeah. Then if you do IFR, or if you want to go further, or if you know what you want in the end, then I think glass gives you some really nice situational awareness and stuff, and some really nice options, but that's far out for me.
I think you're in the generation that you respect how things were and so forth, whereas in my generation, or especially younger, so I'm about a little bit over 30, but you would maybe expect, not specifically the generation classes, but more so just age, is that, the young kids are going to want to have the newest tech and everything, and then they get it, and then they use it, because it's there, they use the newest tech to its fullest potential, and then they don't learn how to fly the airplane. They learn how to fly the instruments to make it easier for them to get from A to B, which is
absolutely
smart until you're not actually learning the core principles of aviation.
I agree. And then on the other hand, you have other people who think who are completely against glass and everything, and say only 6-pack and only like steam gauges is the right thing to do, which I also don't believe in. I think there is a tool for every use case.
Yeah. I would think it'd be obnoxious to not want to have some technology in the airplane at minimum, at least, because even ADS-B is increasing situational awareness, and you do have to respect that not everything's going to show up on ADS-B. And as long as you respect that, ADS-B is great, and keep your eyes out the window for VFR flying like what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, that is one thing, obviously only the online discussion, but where I don't understand people that are like, if you have the money to buy an airplane, yes, it's not cheap to add the instruments for ADS-B and everything, but compared to most airplanes, it's still not that big of a additional cost. And I think it's a great benefit, not just for you, also for everybody around you, if they can see your position.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw ADS-B in at least on your iPad or whatever, and whatever for literally pennies on the dollar for a few $100 or something. And you at least have in, you might not have out, but yeah, I mean, ADS-B out's just to help everybody else out.
Yeah.
And that's pretty, I think it's been most widely accepted. There are going to be people that aren't accepting it, and you know, these people do have to mind the airspace rules, and they can't fly anywhere near Class Bravo and so forth, and some Charlies and whatever, you know, anything in the Vail, the Mode C Vail, they can't fly into any of those. And like here in Florida, we have Orlando and Tampa. Like, you literally have to skinny your way around the Mode C Vail. It would be impractical if you're flying in our airspace anywhere near Central Florida all the time to not get ADS-B.
Would you say that Embry-Riddle is a good school?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, that's a local flight school, no?
I chose not to go there, and the price was almost identical on purpose, and it was because at the time I was getting bad feedback from aviators that had been there. Like, for example, my check flight instructor for my private pilot was from Embry-Riddle, and he only did his master's there, and he's like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it either. And I got negative recommendations before that.
I know there's another school that's in the area that's I see him in the sky a lot. Is that the better one?
I went to Florida Tech, if that's what you're referencing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think it's a better in some aspect, because Embry-Riddle, I haven't been there, so I can't say. But from what I heard from one person that went to my high school that ended up in the Navy as an F-18 pilot, and then that checkout instructor, and then a couple other people around, one person in our community, and just, you know, a couple other people I talked to word of mouth. Their reputation is like, yeah, they have a positive reputation, but they are a pilot factory. That's my perception of all the stuff. Whereas my experience replicates a not that type of mentality. But, you know, it's been a few years, you know, before COVID, since I've been in classes in my school and stuff and whatever, that it's, I can't say for what's going on today either. But when I was there, not too long ago, it didn't feel like a pilot factory. Like, the professors cared about you. I did have an issue with an instructor there, a flight instructor, and I'm not gonna say people from like not coast New York, but like New York kind of area. I'm not saying they're bad, but he was from that area, and we had some clashing involved of what we thought was good or not and that's why I think it's really important that you have an instructor that you like and that has the same, standards as you do.
Same mentality.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I thought that was good advice you gave Mathieu earlier about doing the ground school and getting a feel for how they teach and so on.
that's what I didn't do that I would have liked to have done, because that would have
You wish
saved
you'd
me
have known.
at least a flight. Or I did 2 flights with somebody that he was a good person. He had a big heart. He was not the flight instructor I wanted. And just because you have a big heart doesn't mean you're a good flight instructor. And we just didn't mesh well. And it wasn't because I don't want to be like bad, but he wasn't necessarily a completely native American speaker, and that didn't help, but it wasn't the biggest deal. And then also, it just didn't seem like he was paying attention to me and what I was doing. He was paying attention to like the grand scheme, like the big picture, like everything is going good and stuff and whatever, and it was, but like he didn't really home in on me in the first 2 flights that I had with him. Like he was just like, yep, you're doing good, and no
Right,
need for improvement.
You want a
and-
little bit of guidance of some kind, you know?
Exactly. Perfect. Yeah, thank you, Laser. Exactly. And I wasn't getting what I needed out of the lesson. I was just getting yeah, you're doing good and you're gonna be fine. And I kind of expected I was gonna be on the top end of the quote unquote class, even though there wasn't one, but you get what I'm saying. But I still know I wasn't perfect, and I needed somebody to, tell me I wasn't and show me how to do it better.
Good to know.
Yeah, the language problem is a big thing here in Canada, apparently. There are a lot of schools, foreign-owned and taught, where English is not necessarily their main language, which for me it isn't either. But then having, on the other hand, someone also not being native English or weird foreign English apparently can get really, really annoying if you're in a stressful situation like flying an airplane.
Yeah. And ICAO rules are fun and game, or like they seem like they're great on the surface, but it's definitely important to have somebody on your level of what you need. And I think that 30-minute ground with somebody is going to teach you that, because when you're going through, it's not just about the language, but just everything else. You're going to learn more about them and about yourself during that 30-minute ground lesson that's going to be cheaper to pay for than you're going to learn in the air, because when you're in the air, it's not the time to do lessons and stuff and learning about this and that. You're that's all ground
Focused in
stuff.
flying, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll have to take that. I'll have to take that in. Maybe for the other flight schools, I want to go look at to do some ground lessons with them.
Yeah, and they'll respect you for that too. Just and also if you do pick an instructor on the first swing, like they're gonna be like, like, wow, we've never had anybody ask for this first. Like usually everybody just wants to jump right in the air and see if it's for them. Like if you're doing flight simulator, you know that you'll probably be okay, and even if you get nauseous or something flying around or some kind of crazy whatever.
Yeah. The flying around, I have a couple of friends who are pilots who I went up with in Cessnas and stuff, so that I know is not a problem. I'm pretty sure it's not a problem.
I don't think it would be, because if you're in control of the airplane, it's not going to get worse. You definitely get a lot more feel out of everything. And
Oh, look at you guys coming in one after another. Very nice.
don't brake too hard, Longhorn. I'm right behind you. Actually, don't brake at all, please. For a second.
Alright, I'll just roll out.
All right, you're good now. You can do what you need.
Okay.
I just need to touch down.
Touchdown long if you can.
Your brakes don't work in the air?
No, not typically.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna taxi down the runway if everybody else is in. Stay off that rough grass.
I gotta say, I like this airplane. This is a great addition to the Friday night flights. We're gonna be flying this again next week.
I like it. I just cannot get the ILS to work.
Yeah, there's a couple things I need to, on my own time, sit down and just go through the little nuts and bolts and figure it out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the course dialed in where the yellow needle is following and lining up and everything. I got it switched, the little switch that Wingnut said to switch up to nav 1. Hit the CDI to localizer and the GPS, and it's like, I don't know what else I'm missing, but it's not tracking it.
Yeah, no, mine didn't either this time. I've had it work for me before, but tonight for some reason it just wasn't grabbing me to bring me down. It was locking on, turning me in, but it wasn't bringing me down.
Was it like a before or after update kind of situation?
No, I mean, I've done it recently in this aircraft and made it work. Just tonight I couldn't get it to lock on to the glide slope.
Well, the weird thing for me is the mode selector, where it has the button for VOR slash localizer. It does nothing. I mean, it doesn't light up or anything. I can see it pushing the button, but it doesn't do anything. So I would expect to be able to push it and see it like light up for localizer to tell me that I'm in approach mode. Yeah, that's the button for approach mode.
Yeah, mine was lighting up, but it didn't light up until I flipped that switch up on the dash.
And you're switching it to nav 1, right? The farthest on the left for the 3 switches?
Yeah, and flipping it in the up position.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, because the middle is GPS and then up is nav 1. And it lights up the green nav 1 light. But it's not, that button's not having any effect. That's weird.
You were pushing the where the square buttons are down where your altitude and your heading and nav.
Yeah, right next to the altitude, the button right to the right of it. I can see the button press in, but it doesn't light up when I do it.
Huh, well that's odd. Mine was lighting up, and it turned to me. It just wasn't locking onto the glide slope. I had a marshal down here bring me in, actually, down here at the airport, the terminal.
Really?
Yeah, I had a marshaler marshaled me right in.
Ooh, how'd you
Still
get so
standing there with his
special?
wand. I do feel special.
That's cool. I can see everybody's tail number. Well, except for Longhorns, as soon as I said that.
I just got out of the airplane. I wonder if that's why. I see my tail, my name on my tail.
Yeah, you'll always see your own. Always, without exception.
Yeah. Matthews is blank white square.
I see Matthews.
Yours is too.
I see.
Oh, do you?
Well, yeah, his is like HBSNW.
Oh, no, I've got just a white square where it should be, and same with yours.
Really? Mine, you should see Lima 1 Oscar November. Go Lions.
I haven't seen Matthew his aircraft this whole flight.
Yeah, on Control Freaks, on his tail, it says Control Freak.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, some of them work, some of them don't. It's weird. Seems a little random. But it's for the first time ever. This is the first time I've ever seen in a sim where you could see other people's, name tags on their plane like you're supposed to. At least they're trying.
Yeah. They'll get there one day. They keep at it.
Well, hey everybody, that was a fantastic flight. We got to Finland, and we're going to spend a week here and have a good old time and see what they do here in Finland. And hopefully we'll see you guys next Friday. Please, if anybody would like to join us, we had a lot of people join us tonight. It was quite a nice packed flight. We had 6 pilots, maybe 7 at some points. It was a real good time. you can get the information for the flight in the description of the YouTube video, and you can get the game on Game Pass. And you can also like and subscribe. Those are all fun things to do. So anyway, have a good week, everybody. We will see you next Friday, and have a good night.
That's all, folks.